How are you,
All right,
Lucas?
here we go.
All right.
Doing great. Doing great, Tim. How are you?
Good. Are we live now, Drew?
We are.
All right, cool. Thanks for getting it set up. Lucas, where do we find you today?
Our call center in Irving, Texas today, our 30,000 square foot call center that everyone on the call is going to learn how to use for free today.
I mean, you're on your phone. You could do a walk around, just a quick, just to prove to everybody it's real. That would be, I know it's real, but could
You
you do
want
it?
to see it? Yeah.
I, well, I'd love to see it. I mean, if you don't mind, if it's close by and it doesn't mess anything up that we already got going on.
Hi, everybody. Yep. We're going to take a little walk then.
All right. I love the tour.
Let's see here. So basically, this is one section. Everybody is in some training right now at lunch, but this is the
Okay.
call center itself.
Nice.
And then here's kind of the rest of the call center. As you can see, it's quite expansive. You guys might be getting some feedback from the calls there, but it's basically it.
Looks
Yeah.
That is a Class A setup. I mean, um, with commercial office space and furniture sales, it's probably you guys are probably a very, very valuable client going down there. So you're in Irving, Texas, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Fantastic. All righty. Okay. I appreciate that quick tour because we talk about the call center, and now I guess there's probably three of those going, and we're certainly tapping into those their talents and their efforts to help everybody's business grow together. So thanks for joining. My name's Tim Slevin, CEO here at TheShareGroup. You're here because we said we're going to show you how to become your own lead machine. And if anybody told you that the most important part about becoming a successful loan officer or realtor is you have to be able to develop business, and it's hard to do and it can be very expensive. A lot of people would be hesitant to walk the path that you're on right now. So the thing I want to tell you how we level set when we do these webinars is I understand that you've been overpromised and underdelivered. I understand that if you bought leads, you purchased bad leads. We tend to take a real straightforward approach so that our clients' expectations are exceeded. And instead of overpromising and then just trying to fill the gap with nonsense, which we get a lot of in the marketplace. We hear just so much about that. So if you can listen for 30 minutes, I think you're going to learn something about how you might be able to consistently generate the listing opportunities that have been lacking in your business. We know that the numbers around productivity are most folks less than 40% of realtors did a deal last year, and most did less than 3. So what we're going to offer here is kind of a very low cost, but a higher skill approach to plan and develop your own lead generation in your local market, leveraging the best leads, the best data, technology, and partners to help you get there. So you can really just sit down, go to work, find opportunities, create relationships, and then 3, 6, 9 months, start cashing checks. That's really where we want you to go. And everything that we're going to talk about today will be simple, straightforward, make sense, and be executable in your local market. That's kind of what we're most excited about. We're going to talk about leads, AngelAi, dials, coaches. There'll be links at the end that'll cover really all of that business. So my career has been in data and analytics. I've started, built, and sold companies in healthcare and in construction, and I've been in real estate now for a little over 3 years. I know that I haven't sold a home. I have no basis for coaching you on how to sell homes because I'm really addressing one small part, which is how do you get to those listing opportunities in your local market? That's all I'm really kind of an expert on, and that comes from experience and conversations from coaches, realtors, leading brokers who talk about how they're successful and how they use our data to get there. So the most important piece is what you decide to do, the system you choose to make it successful. If you're a person who has tried lots of different things and you'd like to have something which is more predictable, which you can lean into as hard and as long as you want, this is a place for you. So it really comes down to how much you want to earn, what you're willing to do to earn that money, and the process that you're willing to own and take responsibility for to get from A to Z. Because there are very, very few places where you can give somebody a credit card and get leads back. That doesn't happen very easily or very often. Or if they do, you're giving up 30 or 40% or more of your commission, as the cost of doing business. My partner in this is Lukas. Lukas, tell us just a little bit about AngelAi, Selligence, SunWest. There's a lot of entities that you're kind of leading for us.
Yes, I'm the chief client officer for Angel and also SunWest, our bank. And guys, we have an official value of 119 billion. It's enabled us to open our own private equity and take funds, billions of dollars direct from sovereign wealth. And that's enabled us to provide all of the tools that the top 2% of producers use for all of you for free. And today we're here to talk about the call center specifically, our appointment setters in San Juan, Puerto Rico, here in Texas, and also in LA that will set appointments for your business and help you scale so you don't have to do all the initial cold calling yourself. I personally use it to dial 2,000 to 3,000 people a week. And on your screen here is a QR code for our CEO, Pavan Agrawal. And if you guys will DM him today with your name, phone number, and email address, he's going to either send you a cash prize or a gift box. So go ahead and do that with that QR code while we're on the call.
Yeah, I am in a tiny company with my partner, Drew, and Pavan is a guy who is responsive, to me on, which is just a sliver of a thumbnail of the business that they're in, right? It's a big business, and his responsiveness and real support is really inspiring because you don't see that in a lot of folks. So thank you for being here, Lukas, and appreciate the partnership.
My pleasure.
Most of you folks already know who TheShareGroup is, but it's a data science company. And we're really addressing this problem of reliable data in lead generation systems for mortgage and real estate, partnering with the best in the business to help our clients achieve the goals that are otherwise very expensive or unpredictable. So you're on this call because hopefully you're kind of falling into one of these buckets that makes sense to you. So you're burned out by the overpriced leads, that you're giving away 30 or 40% of your commission just for the opportunity to talk to somebody, which you can do now for free or very low cost very quickly. Maybe you're already doing a lot of phone prospecting, but you want better outcomes. Maybe you're doing direct mail and texting, and you have VAs and you want them to be more successful. We align around all of those objectives. So this is for folks who really want to talk to sellers in the market. They understand top of funnel strategy is the slow, steady, patient way to own a market. Because we're going to talk to them, you're going to talk to them before they fill out a form or they look up a realtor who's not as good as you, but just know somebody who knows somebody. So it's you go to the person who earns the business by doing the prospecting, building the relationships, and then turning that relationship into a positive net outcome for both the seller and for your business as well. So you're looking for somebody you can trust. I think you're in the right spot. We don't oversell. So you can't get rich on ShareGroup leads. You can be more effective and you can build a steady pipeline, but we're really selling weights. If you don't pick the weights up, you don't go anywhere. So we're not promising miracle weight loss. We're not promising 13% body fat. We're saying this is a path and you can walk as hard and as fast or as slow as you want towards this place where you go, you know what? This is a not too difficult way to talk to people who are going to be coming into the market, and they like to talk to somebody that they know that's local and an expert. And I'm finding great success in having this, kind of process occur in my marketplace. So why would you call leads? Because it's the number one way to get listings. So beyond referrals, past clients, direct contact is the number one way. And that's proven by the NAR report that came out last year. So what are you going to do? How are you going to get that relationship started? Because if you think about it, every other lead generation system, whether it starts with a form fill, or it starts with a text, or direct mail, or a TV ad, or a mailer, or any of the thousands of ways you can advertise, all of those are trying to do one thing, which is get that buyer, that seller or buyer to talk to you on the phone. So we're going to say, if we bypass that and we call the people who are most likely to be in the market to sell in the next 3 to 9 months, wouldn't that be a more effective and direct way of going about your business? And we really think it is. So we are really, our business is built around the top of funnel strategy. And it makes a lot of sense. And everybody works FSBOs for some time and maybe continually, but everybody works FSBOs and everybody works expired. But these quantities are limited. They come out, they're public information. Everybody has access to them. So there's nothing proprietary. You are dropping a bait into a shark pool and everybody's going for it, right? So just for knowing that just 4% of the homes are going to sell in the next year, and we're going to take that 1,000 home zip code and say these are the 450 that if you focus on, you're going to get more than 4% listing their home in the next year. That's really the magic of what we do. That's why our data science works. Is we have three databases. We have the people and all their demographics. We have the property and all of its characteristics, and then we have the loan. And seeing all three of those data sources in one place allows us to select and identify those and then sell them to you super quick and easy in our store. So you don't run out of leads, working ShareGroup leads. These are unique direct outreach. And I tell the story. I've done 7 real estate transactions in the past 10 years. I've never had a realtor call me up and say, hey, you've been in that home for 5 years. I know you had a vision for what it was going to be like when you bought it. How's it going? Is it what you wanted? Do you see yourself there another 10 years? Like a friendly outreach follow-up that says, I appreciate your business. I know that you're going to sell this and maybe you're looking to buy something else. That sort of outreach is super important. So to get to that point where you have recurring customers and you do that outreach, which is so welcomed, I think, by your past clients, in order to get them, we have to fill this top of funnel. So there is virtually an unlimited number. So there's 20 million in our database, 20 to 30 million, depending upon what categories you're looking at. They're not published anywhere. They haven't raised their hand. And that is the skill and the challenge of what we're trying to do. It's starting a conversation from scratch with somebody to have a conversation about their intent around the future of their home and how long they plan to be there. So 100% the value is you. That's why a lead costs 20 cents. And when you buy 20,000 of them, you're going to find 400 homes in there they're going to sell. And are you going to be the one they list with? Or are you going to be the one that you're working with? Kind of depends on how you conduct yourself around those. Most people that call us, that we talk to, are in one of two paths. They are still looking for a way that is easier. It may be more expensive, but it's easier to do. And it's because you can't see yourself cold calling somebody, or you don't want to spend $2,000 to $3,000 a month, in direct mail. So you guess, you try, you kind of dabble, you look and see what other people are doing. If I just showed you somebody who's been a realtor for 3 years and they're making $500,000 a year because they're not afraid to talk to anybody. Talk is code for call. They're not afraid to call or talk to anybody. And they were a bartender in 2022, and now they're making $500,000 a year in one of the most competitive markets in America. It's only because they have a goal, they have a vision for their life that requires them to make $500,000 a year to have the home, to have the family, to have the environment that they want to live in. And this is the path they've chosen. And so talking to somebody that answers their phone is the hardest part about getting $500,000. I think we can do that. And the less fear and the less ego you have, the faster you get there. Young people, immigrants, college dropouts are taking down 15 and 20-year realtors who go, wow, it shouldn't be this hard. It used to be so easy. And it's not anymore. It's super hard. And it's thinning the crowd, and you know it. So the other path here is know your numbers. How many prospects are available? How many do I need to hit my goals based on some conversion? Talk to the market every day, and let AngelAi help you do that. That's like the whole value prop, Drew. I'm talking to you, Drew. That's like the whole value prop in business in 90 seconds, right? And maybe it's 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's a simple system. We say you're going to spend about $600 a month. So, that is that's dinner for 6 people at a nice restaurant. 10,000 high quality leads cost you $1,400. You need a high quality dialer because the thing you think about if you haven't done cold calling before is dialing and getting hung on, or dialing and having somebody be nasty to you. And we're going to take it to the point where with a dialer, you're just talking to people. There's no dialing. You have a huge queue of phone numbers of people and you know exactly why they should be or will be in the market soon. And you know exactly the conversation you're going to have once they answer the phone. So if those things are not scary and you know exactly what your plan is, regardless of what happens, you're just doing the reps. When you do the reps, you'll get the outcome that you're looking for. So 3 hours a day actually turns into about $1,000 a day in income within 6 months. This happens. And I'll show you a worksheet that we trust and use from a coach called Jake Dixon, who his Locker Room Nation is a great coaching organization. On top of that, you're going to have one or two folks in Lucas's organization that's going to call and say, hey, I represent Paris. He's a great realtor here in your local market. I'm calling for just 2 reasons. You're probably not going to sell anytime soon. Hold for response. But if we could share with you your home value from time to time, would that be of value or interest to you? So we're going to go with real softballs that say, if we can build your email list and then do regular communications to the folks who are going to be coming into the market, and we now can see them opening their emails and doing investigation, which HomeBot and other tools do for you. I think effective email strategy around building your list through AngelAi makes a ton of sense. So I'm going to pop out of here as long as my computer cooperates. I'm going to go right over here. So I said there's links and we'll do some follow-up materials, but if you haven't seen this before, this is the 5 to 25 calculator, and I'll blow it up a little bit so it may be easier for you folks to see. But these are two different scenarios where we're going to look at how many dials that we're doing a day. And a dial you're going to do over 500. Manually, you're going to get about 100. So it's a 5x return on your time. And we look at how many contacts we're going to have. So 22 contacts out of 500 dials is pretty normal. We're not even going to call Fridays. We're going to call Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we're going to be in the field doing our open houses and showings and meeting with sellers. So 48 weeks a year, you're going to work 192 days. You're going to call 4,000 folks, converting 1.5%. That's very low. By the way, you can get over 2, over 3% if you get more targeted and do more follow-up. But 1.5% conversion means 63 units are sold in a year. And just most folks are over 300,000, but just for example, I'm going to say it's a $300,000 home. You got a commission split at 2.5%, 30% goes to your broker. It's $1,000 a day. Now you can say, hey, I'm going to work 5 days a week. I'm not going to work 4 because I'm just getting started. What's that do? Well, make another $200 a day. So you can work with these conversion rates. You can work with the dials, manual or dialer, and you can really estimate it. You can include a transaction coordinator. There's also a flat fee to broker model. So we'll share this with you. Anybody who wants to see this, it would be good to hop into chat and say, give us your name and make certain you want to see this. But this worksheet allows you to go, what do I need to do between 8:30 and 12:30, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday if I want to sell 3 homes a month? How many dials does it take to get there? And the learning curve is steep, and it's fantastic because you'll get there a little bit faster than you think. Okay, so dials to commission calculator. Happy to share that with anybody who'd like to dive into that a little bit. So leads plus the calling effort creates a predictable listing opportunity pipeline. We sell our leads through a store that you can access and check out very easily, and be a good time to pop a link to our store into the chat. But on our store, you can find all of these types of sellers. So downsizers, the 60, 65, 70 plus set. I've asked this question for the past 6 months, and I'm not afraid to ask again. But if you want to put it in the chat, the average age of a seller in 2025, if anybody wants to pop that in, I'll give you the right answer in a second. So downsizers, likely to sell, those are folks that are going to upsize. Absentee owners are so great to call. I would call nothing but downsizers and absentee until I run out, because the absentee conversation is this simple. It's like Lucas answers the phone. I go, ring, 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 Lucas, say hello.
Hello.
Hey, Lucas. Hey, my name's Tim. I'm a realtor. Go ahead and hang up on me if you want to. Okay, thanks for not hanging up. I know you own that home over there in Paris, Texas on 3rd Street. It looks like that's probably a rental or something, right?
It is, yeah.
Okay, so my job really, I specialize in helping absentee owners with their rentals or vacation properties. And so I'm just checking in. I know you have that. You've had it for about 5 years. Looks like you own it free and clear. What's your plan for that property over the next several years?
Well, I mean, we've been thinking about refinancing it and taking some money out to renovate it, or we might sell it.
Perfect. That's a conversation I'd love to have with you. So end scene. Thank you, Lucas. I
Yeah.
don't ask it. I really don't have to ask a question. I can just say, "Hey, Lucas, this is Tim. I'm a realtor. I know you own that home over on 3rd Street, and you've had it for a number of years. What's the plan around that property? Just thought I'd check in." And then I'm going to get, "Who is this? Why are you calling me?" All of that, and those are easy to handle. But it's so much better than saying, "Is this Lucas?" No. Do you own the home on 3rd Street? No, because basically you're giving them the wrong questions. So, all right. I love
Hey,
absentees. So you can go to high and low interest rate folks, circle prospecting. You can do that. Low or negative equity homeowners, divorced, or actually single head of household. We have all those leads available there, and it's 20 cents or less. That's the highest price is $300 for 1,500 leads, 20 cents a lead. With those lead credits, and by the way, no subscriptions. You can't lose money. You can only lose money if you buy leads and you don't work them, and nobody's going to help you if you're not willing to work them. But the no subscription thing is something we landed on 2 years ago, and I don't want anybody to lose money. And I know sometimes you don't get to full value because you're not there or you're doing different work, and then you still have that bill. It's like, oh, it's another $129, and I didn't get any value out of it. So we sell you a block of leads and say you got 1 year to use those. Download them and call them. And by the way, we don't want you to download those leads until you're ready to call them, because we're updating the phones and the emails every week. So that's really the best model there. Every record is going to have at least 1 or 2 phones. We'll tell you if they're on the DNC. We'll tell you if it's a cell phone or a landline. And we have a great team of folks that can help you figure out which ones maybe should be best for you. So my last pitch on this is that lots of people say cold calling doesn't work. And some people would say nobody says that, but it's debatable. But I can tell you for sure, it's going to feel hard at the start. It's going to feel slow, and you're going to question whether you're on the right path. But we can introduce you to people and communities of people who only do this and have very low cost of customer acquisition and a very predictable path to the success that they have. So yeah, it can be humbling. But when you click with somebody and then you go meet them on their front doorstep a week later and they take your card and you shake hands, like that is your client. You just won them. And if you do that every week, within 6 months, you got people like, oh my gosh, I talked to them in February and they remembered me because I called them every 6 to 8 weeks. And that's the real success, is to build that pipeline of people who are definitely going to sell. And the answer is 64, and everybody was bouncing around. You guys are smarter than most. Yeah. So 64 is the average age. So that means if you think about doing half of your prospecting to people that are 65 to 75 or 80, most people don't do that. They're working a much younger set because that's the population. But these are very, very wealthy people. We've shared articles from the Wall Street Journal about how their accumulation of wealth from property and stock market has made them super wealthy. There's just so much money that's going to be handed down. The next wave that you're going to see is 35 to 55-year-olds whose parents gave them $2, $3, $4, $5 million. They had no idea they had that much money because they never spent it. And that's sometimes the hardest part, is getting them to spend a little bit of money, because the fear of running out is still kind of prevalent for them. All right. So let's talk about some expectations. It takes 6 months to get where you want to go. And that means that if I prospect 1,000 people in April, 1/12 of those are going to sell in May 26, and 1/12 are going to sell in March. 4%. 4% are going to sell, but it's going to be distributed all across the next year, right? So we don't really worry about that. We just want to take good notes and set the appropriate follow-up. So that 6 months means that after you've done this for 6 months, you're now getting to the point where you're steady state. You've got 6-month-old leads, and you have brand new leads that are now 90 days old or 60 days old. They're going to turn quickly as well. So we want these daily conversation goals, 20 to 25 a day. The persistence is going to lead to this pipeline and then become closing. So Doing this by August 1st, you can have this mastered, spending 3 to 4 hours a day on the phone and really not worry about your pipeline again. And you'll get there faster and cheaper than anybody else. Because if you look back and go, how much progress have I had between September of 25 and April 16th of 26? If it hasn't been satisfying, this might be the path, for you. A little bit out of order, I covered these 3 databases, but to be clear, there's about 500 data elements on every individual and household in our database. We have a complete property database as well, which tells us year built, square foot, the type of roofs that they have, basements, plumbing, all the things you see on a report. And then the mortgage information is super important so that we can go after the folks who have very little equity and not much margin in case there's an interruption in income, and those that have owned the home free and clear. So if you said, Tim, I want to talk to people that are over the age of 70, no condos, own it free and clear, have been there at least 25 years, I'll sell you that list so you can go talk to them. So a ShareGroup lead is every homeowner in the US with demographics, complete property insights, verified contact information. So that's 100% phones on every record that you get, unless you want to do direct mail. If you want to do direct mail, you're going to go from a count in our store, which has 500 prospects, of up to 600 or 700. There's new leads coming in daily, and you can do direct mail, text, email, phone. You can do ads targeting as well here. You get that going. So how about a quick tour of the ShareGroup store very quickly here. I'm in Southern California. We pick one zip code. And the minute we pick a zip code, we're going to find, I'm going to blow this up a little bit. Pick one zip code, Mission Viejo. There are 10,353 homes, all of them over $1 million in that zip code. So that's why distressed is super low. There's 200, so it's 0.2% have lower negative equity, right? So they're all doing really well. There's only 500 single head of households. So 20% are downsizers, 60 plus, 80%, 70% or more of their home, been there at least 15 years, going to be moving to the beach, going to be moving to zero income tax state, closer to the grandkids, wherever that dream might be for them, they're going to go there. Likely to sell. So these folks have been there just 5 years as a minimum and have 50% or more equity. So that equity has appreciated, and because they put good money down and that equity has appreciated, they're able to go to the next bigger home, better neighborhood. I knew I was very conservative. My first home that I bought in Foothill Ranch, 92610, was $224,000. And then because you don't know what the future is going to be like when you're new in the workforce and you get more confidence, your income goes up, you're ready to go get that bigger home. That's those folks right there, 5 to 15 years and solid equity for you to go talk to them. And there's my absentee. This is kind of surprising. So 1,134 absentees. So I always compare that to the total. So about 10% absentee. And just for fun, we'll go out to Palm Desert and see what that looks like. So 6,441 and absentee 3,500. So 40% are not owner occupied. And you can see all of that. You also have the ability to do a radius search within the store. We do have mortgage leads with your lead credits. And by the way, this is where we buy lead credits. So we slide this bar and say, I want the minimum order, 1,500 leads, $300. Or I want 10,000 leads, that's 11,000. So 11,000 leads, it's going to be 1,540. Buy that now. Those lead credits land up in the wallet. And with that, with those lead credits, you can do the store leads and download. You can also do skip tracing. You can also locate people by address, email, name, or phone number. So if you want to look up a property, or you get a phone or an email and you'd like to know if that person is tied to a property, you can kind of cross-reference those folks as well. We also have people who want to do, sorry about that, folks. We also have people that want to do custom recipes. So that would be, I want to look at homes, I want homeowners that have been in the market, homeowners that have had their home for at least 5 years, that have 2,000 square feet or less and have kids. So I had a guy in California come to me and say, I'm looking for the homeowners that are getting squeezed out because their families are growing. They didn't buy enough home, but they still spent $500,000 on that. So can we do that? So any insights you have about the marketplace, let's put those into action. And in a one-on-one consult, we'll dive in and do a custom recipe for you based on your own needs. After you purchase lists, you go into My Purchase, click download. It downloads right into your desktop, and you can upload that into CRM or a dialer, whatever you want to do. All right. I've been kind of long-winded today, Drew. You haven't been keeping me on track here. All right. So no subscriptions. The other thing we do is if the phone doesn't work, no longer in service, disconnected, tell us. I called 10,000 leads and I have 400 that had bad phone numbers. I go into your account and I put credits back into your account, and then you keep going. So any phone numbers that don't work, tell us how many there are. We'll ask you to send some over to check them out ourselves, but the credits go back into your account. All right. And when we work with AngelAi, we're going to take out all the do not calls, right? So that's going to happen as well. No DNC. You can remove those or include them in your business. So I think we talked about downsizers, the empty nesters, the absentee owners, why they're great. I'll tell you one other thing about the absentee owners. You can also find folks that live a long ways away. And when you buy a zip code or two in the absentee owners file, you can sort by the owner's name, and you'll find people that own 2, 3, 4, or 5 homes in those zip codes. So the bigger your footprint, the more likely it is you're going to find somebody who lives in Georgia and owns 2, 3, 4 homes in McKinney, Texas, because it's a great place to invest. So we like that. We covered likely to sell as well. We talked about building a funnel. Let's get into Lukas. You've been on vacation for the first part of this call. I'm going to put you to work. Tell us a little bit about this free ISA on demand.
Yeah, guys, whether you're calling your leads yourself or using our call center for free, it's the same thing like Tim's saying. It's all about consistency. You do need to give it 6 months. Take these top of funnel leads and drop them in or start dialing yourself, and you're bound to see results. I think probably one of the big keys is over the last 20 years, what we've seen is that it takes more and more and more dials to get the results that you need. And that's really why we provided this free call center for real estate agents and mortgage brokers to help them scale their business. So a little bit about ShareGroup. Tim didn't tell you. Obviously, we have tested their contacts, these top of funnel contacts, over and over and over again. The reason we partner with ShareGroup is, as Tim mentioned, it's not a monthly subscription where you just take what they give you and, take what you get, don't pitch a fit kind of a thing. Tim and his team actually, curate the data. It's data hygiene that they do on this to make sure you're getting good contacts. And then they actually stand behind the data. So we really, really appreciate the way that they approach that. Basically, we have, a massive call center here in Irving, Texas, about 30,000 square feet. We have another one in San Juan, Puerto Rico. And so we have a bilingual call team. And these folks are professional appointment setters. All they're doing all day is calling and setting appointments for you on these top of funnel leads, so that if you drop 1,500 or 3,000 leads, basically then you can spend your time calling the people that actually raise their hand and say, yes, I have an interest in talking to that person. So it's really, really effective. I use it every week myself, and we do several 100,000 calls a month now. So our team will not only give you this tech for free, and as I mentioned earlier in the call, really all the tools that you'll need as a real estate agent that the top 2% of, really high producing agents use, we've put them into Angel for you for free. As far as the call prospects, it's a very, very simple process. You go into Angel, you click call lead prospects, and then Angel will start the workflow for the call center. Basically, you're going to need 3 things, guys. So your homework before we connect to go ahead and launch these calls is you need your data. I recommend about 1,500 to 2,000 leads per campaign. And yep, as Tim's going in here, this is Angel. You'll go down in the apps menu down the bottom left there, Tim, once you accept that. In the bottom left, that apps menu.
I gotta
Yep.
log in first. I'm gonna log in.
Oh yeah, you could do that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
And basically you're going to need your contacts, about 1,500, 2,000, and then you're going to need a very short white label script. Basically just introducing yourself. Hey, this is Luke. I'm calling for this reason from Tim's office at ShareGroup. He's a local expert that can help you with XYZ. Would you like a call transfer to Tim right now? Would you like to set an appointment at your home on Saturday, at my office on Sunday, or do you want an online meeting, right? Just however you want to connect with them. And then you're going to have a voicemail. So if our Angelistas, we call them in the call center, don't get a live human being and get a voicemail message, then they're just going to drop that voicemail at the end. And basically, that shows up as a transcribed voicemail on someone's phone nowadays. So it's almost like you're getting a free text message to that lead, which is really great. We get a lot of calls back on those as well. So you take your share group leads, you got your script, you got your voicemail, and you'll just go into Angel. You'll launch the free call lead prospects. Yep. There you go. Oh, there you go. You're purchasing some leads in there. We also do have leads from the share group
So the
included.
app gallery. Yeah.
So here's the app gallery. You go up to the sales and marketing tab up at the top in the middle there, Tim. Yep, sales and marketing. And then you'll see a blue-green button that says call lead prospects, guys. You'll click on it. It's there with all the twin and the other SEO optimized websites that Angel can create to give you more visibility. And you'll scroll to dive in there, Tim, and send that. And then basically Angel's going to ask you to upload your leads. It's going to ask you to upload your script and then your voicemail message. Couple other little questions in there. If you're a first-time user, it might ask you for your license number and the company you're working with. Then what's going to happen, guys, is our AI is going to scrub the list through the DNC for you if it hasn't already been by Tim and his team. It's going to drop it in our dialer here. And then in about 48 hours, we're going to start those calls. Usually for each campaign, we're going to get to about 1,000 calls in that first day. But the beauty of it is you can launch like a dozen different call campaigns with different scripts and beta tests as you go.
Yep.
So it's a lot of heavy lifting we're doing here for free. But again, probably the key piece is, as Tim said before, you do have to go in here and launch the campaign. We built this race car, but if you don't take it out of the garage, right, it doesn't work. And I mean, I've had interesting, variation in results based on the data or the scripting used. With Tim and his team, with their data, we feel pretty confident every time on their data. You drop it in. Then if you don't get a whole lot of prospects out of that first round, you can almost bet that there's not something hitting with your scripting at that point. But again, you got that free beta test. So you can go back the next week, drop in, or the next day, drop in another script and really try that out until you get the best scripting. We have had agents that I've met over the last 30 days even that have told me that they had to tell our call center to stop. One guy I think he dropped several thousand leads in about 30 days ago, and he had 52 prospects out of that. These were cold calls on sellers that did not have their property listed. And I told him, wow, you must have a really effective script. He said, I do. I feel really confident about my script. But my team is so small, we weren't able to get to all those prospects. So now we're going to go through the prospect list. We're going to call those 50 people individually, and then we're going to launch the campaigns again. So again, this is completely free for you guys. We want to see you be able to use that. I do have some scripting, guys, but some basic scripting because I've done these thousands of times. But I will tell you, once those agents or loan officers they land on a really strong script, usually they don't want to share it with me. As you
That
can
sounds like a
imagine.
realtor. That sounds normal.
Well, they got to protect their IP, and I get that. Absolutely. That's the other thing about Angel AI is that your data is 100% secure inside of our system. Angel AI is the world's first transactional language model. So it's a decision-making AI that helps run business processes for you. And it's also on blockchain. So all the data is actually decentralized into each one of your individual accounts. So it's only for your use. The only data that we're utilizing for our uses is when you're in there talking to the AI and getting it to basically do one thing or the other. You're going to ask a little different than I am. So that's building the AI. But any of your other data is secure in the blockchain inside your wallet and only for your personal use. I saw another question on here on the voicemail. The voicemail is super important, guys. It'll ask you if you want to do a custom voicemail. And I would tell you, you always want to do yes, because remember, it's like real life human beings over here. Outbound AI calling, voice calling does not work. It just is not effective. Nobody's going to pick up the phone and talk to a computer outbound. Maybe if you're doing like a receptionist call, you're calling in, and we're all familiar with that, right? We get an AI voice on the other side. The market is saturated with AI voice, and people will try to sell you that at a really high premium per month, but I can guarantee you that does not work for outbound calling. Nobody wants to be sold by a computer, right? So this is why we're building this human call center, and we are promoting all from within from that call center. So it's really amazing. You can
Can
go
I
on to
ask?
the next slide.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, but can I ask a quick question?
Yes, sir.
Would that be okay? I just would like your recommendations. So let's say, for instance, okay, I get 1,500 leads, right? And I use Angel AI. Do you recommend that I also call the 1,500 leads too on top of what you all are doing?
That's a great question, Paris. So for me, man, I am not afraid to call anybody. I'll cold call all day long if you want me to. But the problem
Okay.
is, as I was telling Tim, right, I'm traveling the country trying to help people scale their business. So I just don't have the time to do all my prospecting every single day. So I utilize the call center and I utilize AI to do all these mundane tasks in the background for me so that my day is pretty much all meetings with real live people. That's the funny thing about this system is by utilizing that, I'm connecting with real human beings all day. To answer your
Yeah.
question directly, it's never going to hurt for you to call yourself because nobody's going to do as good a job as you on the phone, right? I
Right.
mean,
Mhm.
these are not professional salespeople. They're not real estate licensed. So
Okay.
steer away from scripts that are like pre-qualification and 20 questions. They're not going to be effective in that way. They're professional appointment
Yeah.
setters. So we're taking top of funnel, right? And we're trying to bring it to the middle of funnel so that I can use my time for the people that have raised their hand and said, hey, I do have an interest. Does that
Okay.
make sense?
Thank you. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Hey,
Thank
gotcha,
you.
guys.
Yeah.
Um,
So there's no detriment to calling them yourselves as well. But this is to keep those calls going. And here's the main thing. A lot of real estate agents that even do cold calling, they maybe don't get to that fifth or sixth or seventh call, right? Tim's telling you, I'm giving you guys, enough data on these areas that once you buy it once, you have that data. It's yours. So the object of the call center is for you to be able to call them every week or every other week or once a month, 6 or 7 times until they either say, okay, I'm going to do business with you, Paris, or, can you please go away? Yeah. So it's giving you that leverage. That's what we're doing.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yeah, absolutely. But the idea is really just to help you guys scale your business. As I mentioned, Angel's a decision-making AI. It's unbiased underwriter at its core. So it's approving loans at 2 to 3 times the rate of a human underwriter. And we're going for those folks that get missed a lot of times in the process. It even has free credit repair inside of the app for your customers that need that. So we're just trying to help you guys leverage, and it's really helped us in our business, and helped a lot of people in communities that really, really need that help, right? But it is a contact sport, whether you're doing the calls or you're uploading the call center, the consistency is definitely key. And guys, I noticed some of the folks on the call here. I recognize some of the names. Let's see. I mean, do you have a good scripting for each kind of niche? I don't have specifically. How do you record a voicemail from Ashley? So guys, I use just on my iPhone, the voice memos app on the iPhone. So I just, press the button that way wherever I'm at, I can go ahead and record that information and then send it in with my scripting. So you're going to want to basically have in your folder before you launch your contacts, right? Your scripting, and then that voicemail message, either in a folder on your phone or on your laptop. You click the start lead prospecting button, call lead prospects and Angel, upload that information, and it should take you like 2 to 3 minutes tops. It takes me about 90 seconds to launch those calls, regardless of where I'm at or what I'm doing. So let's see. Tim, do you have the home value script you mentioned earlier? I'm not sure, Drew, if you have that available for him, but
I will be sending out an email with the recording, and then also the 5 to 25 calculator. And then if we have any scripts that we can include, we'll do that as well.
great. Guys, Drew's also going to send you my contact info. As I mentioned, I've been traveling a ton, so I appreciate your patience this month. April's been really busy, but I am available today and tomorrow. If you guys want to call me after this call or text me, you have any questions. And if you guys have any questions right now, I'm happy to answer. If you have any about Angel, and I'm sure Drew could answer a couple about the share group if need be, before we yield your time back to your day. No? Okay, cool. Well, you've got my number. There is also inside of Angel, there's a workshop registration button in our apps menu. That enables you to get a workshop anytime and launch those calls Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. If for some reason I'm on an airplane or, about to speak, I'm speaking a lot around the country. So you can do that on the workshop registration. You can contact me directly and we can schedule. Whatever helps you guys get this done, and you can reach out. Definitely download the app, create your account as it mentions here. Press the call lead prospects button, load your script, load your voicemail message, give us 48 hours, and then we're going to start that dialing completely white label for you guys and for free. And we're going to do that Monday through Friday from about 9 a.m. to 6 for you, depending on what your time zone is. So you will get notifications. This is a great slide. Thank you for that one.
Yeah.
This is a good one to wrap up on. Basically, you'll get notifications, guys, as you go through. You're going to get a report every day. And then you're also going to get emails directly from real live human beings in the call center, like Alex or Juan or Xavier are gonna email you and let you know, like, hey, I talked to Joe and he wants to speak to you today about XYZ. So you'll not only have that report of what the activity is, but you'll have those individual leads. If you launch some calls and you do not, have any feedback, then I would reach out, right? The leads do come via your email. So they'll be sent to you via email with the contact info, phone and email of that particular lead if you give the email. The data doesn't have to be in any particular format, guys. Prefer Excel or CSV, but you don't have to put it in any particular template or form. Just as long as you have the borrower name or the customer name, rather, the buyer name or the seller name. And guys, you don't just have to utilize this for like setting appointments as far as like, are you willing to sell? You can also utilize the call center for events, right? You can use it for realtor recruiting if you're trying to build a downline. A lot of different opportunities there, but just reach out if I can help with any of that, guys.
Lucas, I appreciate you taking the time to do this with us, and I apologize Tim had to drop. That was not expected, obviously, but I hope his puppy is doing better.
Me too. That's scary.
Yeah, yeah. That's not like Tim to have to run off, so it must be serious. But
For real,
if you guys have any
seriously.
questions, send us an email. We'll send you Lucas's contact info. And if you need anything or have any questions at all, just let us know. We appreciate you all joining.
Thank you so much, guys, for joining today. Look forward to connecting with you. We can always set up a workshop if you want, want to go ahead and just jump right in once you have that homework done. Thank you.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Lucas.
Thank you, guys.
We'll see ya.